It's words. And if you take the words that we knew in Atlantis, you take the words we knew in Lemora, yeah, storms are scary. But when they happen, okay, we're in modern times. We're in this system where we think we learned, we grew, uh, which is my problem. And this is, I hope you understand this. I don't like to be the bad person that's telling the truth. But I just listened to a couple of different things yesterday, and they were saying, well, people shy away from the truth. No, they don't want the truth. The truth doesn't ever feel perfect and comfortable. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, people don't want to hear it. Because in the weightlifting world, it says no pain, no gain, which is true. You're not going to put on muscle mass if you don't push your muscles harder each time. Spiritual growth is very much the same. I hate to admit that, but the problem is to grow. You need something to grow in. If you're going to grow wider and bigger, you need a better support system. You're not going to grow into this giant tree in a little coffee pot or teapot or something even that size. Everything has to grow. Your awareness, your thinking, your ability to function and relate to those things as well. So when we talk about growing spiritually, it's a lot different than growing if you're an atheist. Because they assume life is what it is. You start, you're born, you got 100 years roughly to do, create, be, and become anything and everything you can and want to. And after that, the game's over. Now, if you want that belief system or accept that, that is a problem. All right? Because when you die, you're not really going to die. But at that point, you don't know what to do or what's going to happen. And because of that, you're thrown around like a leaf in a tornado. There's no direction, no protection, nothing. So, is it easier to learn now? Yes. Is it easier to listen to everybody? No. The more people you listen to, sure, you'll get a wider view of things, but all those things don't fit into a connection of an important place. What good are they? They're no good. All right. So when we're growing as this person without a religion, without a belief, you do things in the spur of the moment. You don't have to contemplate whether it's good or bad. Well, you either like it or you don't like. Well, I'm going to do this anyway. That kind of attitude. Well, people get through life, and I mean they get born, go through middle age, and go through old age and die, without ever putting their foot one step in front of them. Now we can take that path. Anybody can. Is it exciting? Well, you can make it as exciting as you want. But I go into my morals, which are, I mean, the classic ones is lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. And I break them down into sex, drugs, drinking, including risking your life for cheap thrills. Sure, love fits in there at the very end, because I don't think people have this vast idea of what love means. And some people can say they love a rock, a tree, and any person they meet. Hold on one second. Yeah, without any real feelings behind it. It's just a word. And words are just words. Your actions are quite important. So how do we adjust that? Well, if you don't have the faith and don't learn about things, you can't change it. You're going to live life. Oh, I got a good job. Oh, that job pays well. I'm going to take that job. I don't care who it hurts. I want to move up the ladder. I don't care who I have to step on to get up to the top of the ladder where I can make the most money. So, without morals, which is kind of like the first thing before you become a spiritual person, you don't get anywhere on the physical plane spiritually. So when I say there's very few spiritual people on the planet, and I don't claim to be one of them, there's very few, period. I didn't say I didn't mean one, sorry. I meant good people. Good people don't become spiritual people. If you pick up an ant, he's a good ant. He does his work, he takes care of the mountain, moves the rocks around, protects the queen. He's a good ant. But does that make him spiritual? You're a house builder in the physical world. You build houses. You're putting people in homes, you're helping them and stuff. Does that make you a spiritual person? No. You cut down trees and you mill them and you make them into wood and you do things like that. Are you a good person? Well, I'm making wood so people can build houses. Well, how many houses do we need, which we never have enough of? How much wood do we need? We never have enough. How many trees do we have that we got to keep cutting down? The rainforest is a disaster. And I know that's deteriorating. And if that changes the weather on the planet as well as many other things that are happening. So when we listen to speakers, which I always bring back and forth because people love to listen to people speak if they like what they're saying. I know me, if they don't like it, they just shut the show down. I would leave it. But if you pay to go to a conference and you pay to go in a conference, well, you're going to probably sit and listen to the hour and a half or whatever it is of this person talking. You might agree with some of the things and stuff, but if he makes you feel good, you're going to like what he says even more. Telling jokes, that takes the edge off of things. Well, people that are like that never really learn much because they're just looking for that smile and a little bit of happiness and good feelings. And then they want to know that aliens are coming down to eat them. But in between that, hold on again. Sorry, I'm sneezing. I walked in a store today. They had the air conditioner on, and I lost my voice. I hope I don't lose it now. I got a question. Somebody asked about. Let me see if I can read it again. Hold on. Well, something about weight. When you have this extra baggage on your body. I'm not sure if that's what you actually meant. I'm just pulling it up again. I got 3 questions, so let me just see. Well, how do you feel this weight on you when you meditate? Is it like somebody standing on your back? Just heavy pressure pushing against your whole body? Because I explained it once for myself. A weight on you means something's working with you, good or bad. And as we go through this, you're going to try to relate to that. If you're sitting down in a meditation position and suddenly you feel weight on you, something's there. Now, what are you focusing on? What is your next step in your meditation? Well, that's going to be important because when I had my first out-of-body experience, which I wasn't aware, wasn't prepared, didn't even know what it was in a direct situation like that, somebody started pushing on the back of my head, and I was fighting it. But here's what I did. I was fighting so hard when I kind of just made a twitch, it let go, and then I kind of burst out of the pressure, and then I was standing outside my body. So it could be a really good sign. It could be a really important sign for you. So I ask you to work with that, keep focused, keep your meditation guided and directed and protected. All those things. We'll get back into that later. A ton of pounds, that's a lot of weight. You didn't get squished. Uh, uh, well, change the environment, change how you're doing your meditation, change the music. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you're saying there's a ton on you, that's causing you a lot of pain and everything else, so it's not right. I mean, there's a specific point when spirit will push on you and make you do things, and then when you cross over that, you go into the pain, suffering, and all those other words. Through spirit. I mean, not your normal karma, not what's given to you by this reality, but what you're adding on to it. So, I hope that helps you a little. We can talk about it later. Focus on leaving the body, but no, focus on meeting somebody, your guide, your angel. Leaving your body is not going to be just the answer. You'll be standing there by yourself, and then you still won't know what to do. Picture a doorway. Just picture the doorway, and then when you get the doorway in your image, then you step through the doorway. Even if it's a ball light, and you can't create a door, foundation of a real door, just walk through that light. But then you know that there's going to be something on the other side that's waiting for you. All right, that's what you need to do constantly when you do your meditation. Just say, I want to get out of my body. I want to go see God. There's a lot of steps before that, and you need to learn them all. The protection while you're in there when you're doing meditation. Protection from the pain, whatever pressure's on you. Where's it coming from? What is it? If you can learn what that is and things, all that's going to help you. See, when you do things for yourself, meditation's one of them. You learn more about yourself and yourself as soul. Going to work, building, playing, drinking, all those things don't help that at all. So when we move forward in this game of life, call it what you will, we each open a doorway. What I'm saying, you create the doorway and then you open it and go through it. But you need to be aware of what's going to be on the other side and allow what you want to be on the other side. Your guide, and we all have guides, angels, whatever words that fit your reality, they're there waiting for you to work with you. They chose to do that as their next step in their unfoldment. Everything keeps moving forward, especially after you leave the physical world. You grow faster and greater, except on the astral plane. The astral plane is just so much better than the physical plane. People slowly forget that they can move past that as well. Which you need to do. And that's why it's easier to learn to go past the astral plane now than when you get there. Because if you're looking for the point when I say, I don't have to eat if I don't want to. I could eat anything I want, all the time I want, do whatever I want. Move around, fly around, jump around, whatever. Suddenly it's like kindergarten with every toy that you wanted to play with. But that's where you are. You're starting all over again. Different level, but you're starting all over. You don't have the tools you need. And the other thing is, I already mentioned it Sunday, that we pick the age that we want when we get into the astral plane. I mean, babies leave their bodies. Do you think they go into another realm as a baby and walk around, crawling around, or just rolling on the floor? They go back to their idea of a body, which is an older body, so they can perceive and think. It's the mind that limits us always, keeps us in this reality and what we believe, do, and think. It's not important. And I hate to say that over and over, but this is the most important. Well, because this is where we are, and this is where we think we are. This is where we think we have to stay. Well, we have to stay here for a certain period of time. And I guess it was Billy Joel that did the song, Only the Good Die Young. Well, that's true in one way. If you work all your karma and you're 20 years old, there's no sense to be here unless you're